Would you please welcome Gene Okerlund?
His illustrious career has spanned nearly 4 decades, and he's still one of the most recognizable personalities in wrestling history. Gene Okerlund has seen and done it all. He spent time in the AWA, WCW, and of course, the WWE. When the World Wrestling Federation exploded into a cross-cultural phenomenon in the 1980s, Mean Gene was nearly as popular as the superstars themselves, thanks in no small part to his good friend, the immortal Hulk Hogan.
Well, you know something, Mean Gene. Well, you know something, Mean Gene. You know something, Mean Gene.
This man right here, my very dear, close, personal, longtime friend, Hulk Hogan, very instrumental in picking up the banner of Mean Gene.
The chemistry between the unlikely duo was pure magic, and it led to one of the most mismatched tag teams in wrestling history.
Mean Gene's in the ring, all right. Down across Mr. Fuji. 1. We have a count of 2. And a count of 3. It's Gene-a-mania. It's Hulkamania going wild.
Always the consummate professional, One Take Okerlund never falters under pressure.
He comes off that top rope with a flying...
I could do this better drunk.
I'm not about to lay down on my back and let someone cover me.
I thank you very much.
I screwed that thing up.
What? Oh, my God.
You have embarrassed me again, Jim. It's not Jim, it's Gene.
I told you, right? Where I got the big mouth. She nursed me for 4 years.
Do you have a name on that? Male or female?
I didn't check.
Neither did I. You've already given me my haircut.
Doesn't Adrian look smashing today?
You're standing behind him. I don't know.
What exactly is that?
This is the vault for the family jewels. I didn't mean to say that.
Oh, my word. A little accident there.
You guys can go yourself because we're out of time here, pal.
With a unique sense of humor, boyish charm, and a great set of pipes, Mean Gene Okerlund is truly one of a kind.
I had the honor of interviewing the biggest names in the sport. Some have been a pleasure, while others, I just had to do my job.
He is blessed with a lovable charisma that remains timeless.
Hi again, Mean Gene here.
Gene-a-mania's running wild.
Mean Gene Okerlund, meaner than ever.
It's an honor to welcome the first announcer ever inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, Mean Gene Okerlund.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hoots Podcast, where we're here to kick ass and don't care who gets offended along the way. My name is Josh Lopez. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Hoots Podcast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, and that's where you can find our podcast. I think in a couple weeks we're going to make sure we get this show out there on Spotify and iTunes and all those good places out there, and we're here to take over 2019. This is going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of good wrestling to talk about throughout this year, and we're just going to be ourselves. If this is your first time listening to the Hoots Podcast, or you're familiar with my work or Adam's work on the Pipe Bomb in the past, welcome to the show. This is our little shindig here where we come here every Thursday to talk about professional wrestling. We also talk about life and some real deep issues that are not usually broached on other topics, but we're here to make your day better and maybe gain a different perspective on life and different things from our experiences or mistakes and lessons we learned along the way. And this podcast is about having fun at the end of the day. So welcome to the program, everybody. It's 2019. We're on the road to the Royal Rumble, which I'm very excited for. We got a lot of cool things to talk about. Today's show with Wrestle Kingdom coming up tomorrow as we're recording this on a Thursday. So, like I said, thank you for all the supporters that have been supporting our podcast since the beginning in 2016 to where we are right here in 2019. In April, after WrestleMania, will be our 3rd year of doing podcasts with just strictly myself and the Clown Prince. So, let me bring in the Clown Prince himself, Adam Daly. What's going on, my man?
Hey, so what's up? What's going on, brother? Another Thursday, new year. Let's do it, I guess. Now, you know what, listen, I did talking about people that have been with us for a while. We always thank everybody that's been, and we'll never say fans because I think it's creepy for people to say, I have fans, and it's weird, man. I don't like that. So, for anybody that's just been kind of like, following our work and kind of appreciate us, or like I always say, whether you laugh at us or laugh with us, that's all that we care about. Or at least on my end, because I'm always coming from a comedy side. But I just noticed that Sam Rafferty that listens to the show. I just noticed that he's big into photography. I would love to connect you with my buddy that lives in Wales. His name is Matthew Brown. Go to Matthew Brown Photography, and his last name is BROWNE. I would love to get you guys connected somehow, because Matthew does really, really good work. He's been published, a million times over. I'd love to see you guys have like a meeting of the minds or something like that. So Sam, if you're interested, brother, reach out to me. Let me know. That's what we do, man. That's what we do. We help all the good brothers and sisters out there. We start to branch out, That's why the DMs are open.
Yes, DMs are open, and we're always open to any listeners to the show. We're here to have a lot of fun. We talked about it in the past. We're not here to impress anybody or just repeat the same things you heard on the 650 other wrestling podcasts out there. This is very different. It's the Hoots Podcast. Yes, we talk about professional wrestling, but we talk about a lot of other stuff on this program as well. And before we get to what's going on recently with WWE and all the other stuff going outside the bubble, I just wanted to spend a couple minutes here talking about our thoughts on 2018 as a whole, as far as wrestling is concerned, and this some things we're looking forward to as we're here in January. It's January 3rd, and before you know it, WrestleMania 35 will be here. So I'll start it off here. 2018 was an interesting year, I think, for all different companies. The fact that Lucha Underground was able to produce season 4, I thought was a major success, and I'm happy for it. I don't know what the future holds for Lucha Underground, but I'm grateful for these outside projects that have been able to have success on their own merit. And it's cool. I'm very happy for these other companies like Impact Wrestling, where they started gaining a little steam towards the end of the year with their product, and having the All In show that happened in Chicago during the summer, and just all the cool stuff that's been going on with the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes. And we'll talk about All Elite Wrestling in a couple minutes, but just the outside WWE spectrum has been very fruitful in a lot of ways. It's definitely gained a lot more money and well-deserved praise than it has the last couple years, where you would have a controversy about TNA not paying their talents, switching from networks to networks, Lucha Underground not getting sponsors, Ring of Honor barely filling out venues and this and that. And all that's changed in 2018, and I expect more of it as we come into this year. So from that point of it, I think professional wrestling as a whole has been successful. You want to look at WWE and whether you've been loving or been disinterested throughout the 52-week cycle of WWE programming, that's up to you to decide. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. Me personally, I feel like a lot of the major shows this year have been successful, like from Royal Rumble to a WrestleMania to a SummerSlam to Survivor Series. All those, even Money in the Bank, when both of us were at that show, I feel like the big 5 shows of the year have been successful, and everything else in between has been gravy, especially NXT. So I think professional wrestling is in a good state, if you will. I'm not really on one of those tips of, things have to change, or we need to get back to edgier content to bring in more people and have more people invested in the product. You're either invested in it or you're not. Like, we don't need to play this game where you're going to come on and rip somebody because they like a certain product that you don't like, or this and that. Either you like wrestling or you don't. Let's not play games here. I think wrestling's in a good state, but you're still going to have those people out there that are going to try to make it about themselves, about what wrestling is not, and it's an issue that needs to stop, and wrestling's in a good place because, to have a year for WWE where they break their quarterly financial record every single month of the quarter, or whatever process they do throughout the season, and to land a television deal on the major Fox channel for SmackDown, that's something you can't scoff at. Well, you just can't.
Yeah, this is where I want to piggyback off this a little bit. Is I just want to look at where I don't want to say we spent the bulk of our money this year, because obviously that was like to bills and food and clothing and shit like that. But when you look at like expendable income, I say fortunately, but it's also very tiresome end of the year. But fortunately, Sam, myself, and our daughter, all of our birthdays are at the end of the year. It's the end of October, through December. So, everything's kind of like crunched in that way. And you guys will see where I'm going at with this. When we got our tax returns finally, like last May, and we didn't go to Mania, ended up coming to Chicago for Money in the Bank. So you figure that's where, we were going to go to a bunch of different places for vacation. We just decided, screw it. Let's go to Chicago, make it a Father's Day thing. And why I brought up the birthdays and going into Christmas, obviously, too, is a holiday. Over the past, I guess you could say 2 months now, since the end of October, till now, we've bought, I have 3 Villain Club shirts, 2 Villain Club shirts, a Villain Enterprise shirt, and we have 4 Bullet Club hoodies. Not to mention the Asuka Barbie doll style figure that I got that Asia got for Christmas. The Becky Lynch one. She got a Becky Lynch the Man T-shirt. AJ got a Bullet Club. It was one of the Bullet Club hoodies for her. We bought. Obviously we get to WWE Network every month, but this year I actually bought a pay-per-view, UFC or otherwise, it doesn't matter, for the first time in probably 10 years. Or however long before, whenever the network launched. So what was that, 2014? So since we'll say since about 6 years, I actually paid money for a pay-per-view, and that was all in. And then that was Ring of Honor's Final Battle. So what I'm trying to kind of say here, guys, is if you're hearing me talking, everyone in my family is reaping the benefits somehow of the professional wrestling landscape when it comes to merchandise. And my daughter also got an Asuka mask. She's all decked out now in Becky Lynch and Asuka stuff. But also Bullet Club stuff, right. Which it's funny seeing a little 9-year-old roll around with like a Bullet Club hoodie, like she's a little gangster, and it's the greatest thing. But it's just one of those, if the business is dead and if the business wasn't in a good place, and if the business, like I said, I just think business is different now. And I know I keep saying this, I'm not going to beat this particular horse to death, but I think just if you wanted to look at it from what they care about, and that's merchandise, pay-per-view buys, attendance. We went to two pay-per-views this year. That was the first 2 events wrestling-wise we've gone to since WrestleMania 30. We decided to make it the Summer of Slams. That was the joke. And, if we would have known this was a SmackDown taping this past weekend in Pittsburgh originally, because we thought it was just a live event, I think that's how they were promoting in July, we probably would have bought tickets, because, our daughter wants to see a live, SmackDown or Raw taping versus the pay-per-view like she saw before. So again, Josh, most of our expendable income, other than, getting furniture for the house, just upping like what we have already in home, was basically kind of like going out and doing these little family trips that were kind of based around professional wrestling. And I'm not saying this is all they get. So my daughter got a giant dollhouse and my daughter got all kinds of shit this year, for holidays and stuff. But you see that she wanted to make sure that wrestling was included with that. And I just think it's like I said, for some people, the business might be dead because it's dead to them. It doesn't connect with them anymore. It doesn't resonate with them anymore. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in a house that, and maybe admittedly, I don't divulge too much of my personal life, but the past couple of years, Sam and I weren't in the best financial spot. This year, we both kind of had like our breakthrough. And as bad as 2018 sucked, and I'm so glad it's over because it was the biggest piece of shit year of my life. Financially, we're both doing pretty well, professionally. So we were finally able to do things that we weren't in the past. So maybe that had something to do with it too. But whether it was or was not, we would have been spending money on wrestling stuff even if we could. You know what I mean? So it doesn't. It's really kind of a moot point either way. So if like I said, if the business was dead, my daughter wouldn't have been like, you wouldn't see a 9-year-old, girl. And like I said, I know my daughter's a very unique case study, quote unquote, for but that's what they always look for, right? They look for diversity and that. So how often are they going to get like a 9-year-old, female that identifies as LGBT already? Like they're like, oh, that's a marketer's dream, right? Well, there you go. She loves the fact that she got a Bullet Club hoodie, but she also got her WWE stuff, but also, and that's what we have to look at. Like the fact that they can branch off and hit so many demographics. There's nothing wrong with the business right now. You may not agree with certain aspects of the business, but it is a business, and the business model is working.
The main thing I take away from this year, and I'd be remiss without mentioning the success that New Japan has had as a whole, where they're able to have their live pay-per-views in the United States and to get a deal with Madison Square Garden to have one of their joint deals with Ring of Honor at the actual MSG arena, not the theater inside MSG. I think that's really cool, and it's something that I'm appreciative of as a hardcore wrestling fan. Something I can take away from this year is that this year, wrestling-wise, is not about backstage drama. In March, it'll be my 6th year of doing podcasting / broadcasting wrestling shows. And this past year, it's been the fewest I've had to hear about backstage drama or people being held back or this or that. Of course, you get your weekly creative blue bluff for the bubble, everything on social media. You hear about Raw and SmackDown each week, but just in general, I've never really seen any major controversies or this or that that's bringing the product down. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I see things differently from you guys, but this year it's been about the product in the ring and the promos and the characters that break down this year, like a Becky Lynch or Baron Corbin. Even see guys like AJ Styles and Seth Rollins take that next step where they're actually the draws of WWE this year. And see guys like the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes establish their own brands, and having Hangman Page and Marty Scurll, all these awesome wrestlers market themselves to the point where they're accepted to who they are as performers, and this entire females movement in wrestling, to the fact that they had an all-women's pay-per-view at the end of the year, I think is awesome. And the women have main evented set pay-per-views following that Evolution pay-per-view, so it's cool. It's cool. This past year of wrestling, it's been about the product as a whole and the business as a whole, not about the behind the scenes crap that you usually get listening to shows like this. So that's what I'm appreciative of 2018. I look at trends and, looking at it for myself personally and professionally, just noting where my voice was going through the years of the product. 2013 through 2015, I was getting my name out there. Nobody knew who I was. I started the Pro Wrestling Experience radio show. That's where I met Adam. We started becoming friends. Then it became brothers. Then we started to do our own thing through separate projects. I met some other group people along the way, like B-Rob and Brother Carter. And those people along the way, you guys know who you are. And then in 2016, when I stopped doing the radio show and I left WrestleZone, it was a big gamble. It was a really big time period for my career because I had to start doing things on my own and get my name out there, and not having to have my name be thrust via a different company that I don't own. So starting this podcast with Adam and starting my own website independently, it's been an interesting transition process. And I took 2017. I felt like 2017 for myself was a setback in a lot of ways. But 2018 is where I've been able to be in the background and rebuild myself in a lot of ways. Just putting out the best content I can as far as doing my play-by-play articles and doing this podcast as a whole. Because in 2018 we started doing shows together again, and as far as this show is concerned, I've been having a blast recording the shows with Adam since we started doing this again last year, and it's been a process for myself professionally, and I can admit to that 2017 was a setback for me professionally, and I feel like the arrow's going up since then. So I'm excited for 2019, but I can also know where I can improve in this and that, and it's the charm of doing this every week. Every week is a challenge. Every day is a challenge to grow as a person, professionally, personally. Learn
in
something.
Today's world, you better be living minute by minute, man.
Yeah, second by second, actually. Yeah, so every day and every week's a challenge to grow and get better. And just being in a reflective mood right now, like I never thought about doing broadcasting like this extensively 6 years ago when I was just doing music. So it's been a fun journey, and 2019 is going to be a good year for both of us.
Let me unmute my mic there just in case you were getting that good. That's why there was a delay. Sorry, guys. But yeah, listen, here's one thing I realized over the past couple of years, and this is something that I spoke about all the time. One of the reasons why I took a break in podcasting was I really felt like just like I just started feeling with with very lackluster power comes great responsibility, and by that I mean listen, nobody's ever listening to any of these things for me, and I'm very well aware of that. But I also don't want the offhand chance of somebody taking a joke or something. 80% of what I say on here is just all sarcastic bullshit. And if you guys haven't figured that out by now, I feel so bad for you. And the other 20% is just serious, hey, let's just trying to calm everybody down. I've been done trying to play the expert with this shit a long time ago, because it's just comical watching people attempt to play expert. It's something they'll never know nothing about, other than their voyeuristic ways. They'll never go into a locker room. They'll never go. They're eating the kayfabe left and right, and then regurgitating So you're always going to get the fan perspective out of me. Now, with that being said, the reason why I took that initial break and kind of slowly came back, and it wasn't really even doing much when Sam and I were doing our show. It's just, and I really haven't felt the same, since then, just because, again, I just felt that we're all responsible for what we say. And I never wanted a joke to be taken as gospel, and all of a sudden, it gets ran with, an idea, and it's whatever. Just it's how today's world is, and I never wanted to be used as validation for somebody's feelings. We've been big on that lately, right? About people's feelings. Yeah. And just it's been just so hot lately with just I don't want to say that people are getting too oversensitive, but it is super serial right now. People need to relax. I caught myself that there's a lot of jokes on here I don't say, just because I just don't want to offend anybody. They're merely jokes, and it's just I typically hold back. And trust me, guys, I'm not one of these people that has to watch what they say either. I double guess myself, because the world has become so fickle, if I can use that. Fickle. And I just kind of spent the end of 2018 kind of sitting there, and I'm not a big end of year New Year's resolution guy. I'm not. That's all bullshit. You can reinvent yourself any day of the week. It's crazy. But it just started to hit me that I spent the past couple of years kind of trying to please everyone else but myself. Care about everybody else's feelings but mine. And not that shouldn't be a bad thing, but the world isn't that way anymore. And it's not reciprocated, in life. So what I'm saying is that the jokes are going to be flying, insults are going to be thrown, and if for some reason you just happen to be in a joke because there's something coming later on, know that you were never being attacked. It's just a joke of a joke, because typically if anybody sends us a question or anybody sends us or anything, or if I just bring up a joke about something or whatever, I'm not the only one saying it probably, or you're not the only one saying it on your end. So it's never like that. Or for example, I don't want any of our lovely sisters out there, any of the good sisters out there. I'll admit I hold back whenever we talk about the women's division or whatever. Anytime Josh is I don't want to say Josh is the only one that says it, but again, all these podcasts, they say somebody's good looking. I reserve myself, just because it's been a very weird time with I don't want to say weird time, but just with the Me Too movement, and with sexual harassment being such and listen, and for good reason, being there being such a focal point on it. I feel awkward even saying, hey man, she's hot, but I started thinking about it too. Dude, and I mean, it's different for guys because we don't get hit on, but like, I love when I get hit on. I mean, it makes me feel good because I am a disgusting little troll of a human. So, listen, ladies, slide into the DMs. It's all good. I think. I don't know. I don't know if it is or not, but we're going to say that it is, I guess, because it seems to be okay, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. You know, listen, so if I say a woman's hot, don't think that I'm like a male chauvinist. It's just one of those things that like, just like, you know, I've been listening to like a lot of female comics, comedians, DJs, and everything like that, radio hosts. And, you know, they talk about guys all the time. So I started thinking, wait, I'm holding back on jokes or saying like, man, she's sexy or she's hot or something, which, you know, is very, you know, I'm trying to give a compliment. It's just, I don't also want to be that male chauvinist that, you know, like every show you turn on, it's like, oh, she saw that. That's all they focus on. And it's like, all right, yeah, but let's move on from that, you know? So a lot of times I'll admit I've been holding back on like a lot of stuff just because I haven't wanted to just offend anybody or make anybody upset or make, you know, my wife upset or make anybody listening upset or make anybody that might be anybody upset or make anybody that could hurt Josh's career because, you know, I mean, my career is something completely different, you know. Although I would love to, you know, get in, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, again, the DMs are always open. But yeah, man, I mean, that's the one thing I wanted everyone to know. Like, so going into 2019, like, listen, the jokes are going to fly. The sarcasm, if you thought it was bad already, it's going to get more comedic and it's going to get worse. And I'm not really going to be calling people out like other shows do or anything like that. But what I'm going to be saying is, please nobody take offense to it. Know that it's like, if you're in a comedy club and you get called out by a comedian, you laugh along with it because you don't take yourself too serious when you're listening to our show. Otherwise, you might take our show the wrong way.
Right. I want to get into that topic real quick before we get to Wrestle Kingdom. I wanted to say this. I know from my past doing the Pipe Out with B-Rob, we had the segment called like the Waterfall of the Week, and I came on here and just mentioned about me saying that certain females are hot or whatever. Like I mentioned before, that I like Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch and this and that, but just like Adam, I'm not coming with the angle of being chauvinistic or anything. I'm not wired like that. At the same time, I'm not going to hide the fact that I like women. I'm not going to be outly weird about it. You know, saying something nice about women is not.
And there's some shows that are. There's some shows that it's like, all right, this is getting fucking weird, man. You can relax a little bit.
Yeah, it's not my intention to bring those type of vibes to the show. It's never in that regard. I'm not going to be hiding and be scared of my feelings and saying, oh, this girl's hot. I'm not going to be like, oh, can you tell me what Becky Lynch's address is or Alexa Bliss's email address? I'm not worried about that type of stuff. Yeah. That's not the show we do here.
Yeah, and don't think, and anybody listening, obviously, and Josh, you know this, you know, but don't think that I was like trying to say that Josh was doing that either. That's not what I'm saying. It's just, I'm saying that I've been so reserved, and like, if anybody has noticed that, like, anytime we bring up like somebody, I go mum. I just go fucking straight silent. And it's like, you know what? Screw this. Like,
let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. Like, I'm 24. I'm not tied down to a relationship right now. And I'm sure guys my age that have been doing podcasts like this were drooling over like Pamela Anderson or Jenny McCarthy during the mid-90s or Sable during that time period, just like I would right now over Becky Lynch or Alexa Bliss. It doesn't make me like a Disco Inferno or any of those other assholes. I'm just saying I like women. It is what it is. I'm not going to be outly
I like beer.
Them. I don't roll like that.
Well, no, what I was saying is, like, I realized I turned 40 this year, and I can actually officially say that. Now, sure, it's at the end of the year, and it's only the third day of the year, but I turned 40 this year. You know, I'm here to kind of just entertain you guys, not like make you guys happy or sad, or just like kind of like if you guys get a little bit of chuckle out of me every once in a while, then I guess I did my job. So I need to stop holding back just out of fear of offending like the next person sitting over, you know? So I guess that's what I'm saying, guys, is like anybody who's didn't listen to us for like, especially a long period of time. I apologize if I've watered myself down over the past couple of years, but I just felt like there was, I don't know. I just felt like it was there was some sort of responsibility of Even though I don't know, again, like maybe 3 people listen to what I say on here and probably fast forward through most of my shit, so it doesn't really affect, but I do, I'm not going to hold back anymore. And I don't think comedy should, and that's why last year, Josh, we were talking about, even Roseanne's show. I don't agree with Roseanne Barr I don't want to say that. It's like 50-50 with her. That's why I'm not really, but I don't think, regardless of what she did put on Twitter, I highly disagree with what she put on Twitter. I don't think she should have lost her show because of that. Listen, it is what it is, what it is, what it is. I'm not trying to hide behind a masquerade of comedy either, but let's call bullshit when bullshit is bullshit. If you're doing a wrestling podcast, there's maybe a 1% chance it should be taken serious. And that's only if you've been in the business. All of the rest of us that have never been in the business that are just doing this, we're nothing more than entertainers. Wannabe hack entertainers, I should say. So just let me be a wannabe hack entertainer, man. That's all I'm saying. It's 2019, baby. And like I said, and so everybody knows, don't take that the wrong way when I said slide into the DMs. Don't think that was, listen, of course, ladies, you're more than welcome to slide into DMs, but gentlemen, it's 2019. I ain't scared. It's new beginnings, baby.
Let's run over the Wrestle Kingdom 13 card really quick. There's only, I'm kind of bummed up that they're not doing the New Japan Rumble that they do for every pre-show they done for Wrestle Kingdom. I kind of get a kick out of it because they do a lot of cool comedy spots and you get some surprises in there. They may announce it last minute, but they don't have a New Japan Rumble for Wrestle Kingdom. This Wrestle Kingdom 13, this is basically New Japan's biggest show of the year at the Tokyo Dome tomorrow. I'm excited to transcribe that show. Make sure to bookmark ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com to see my coverage of Wrestle Kingdom 13 tomorrow. I'm excited. There's a lot of challenging matches from a transcription standpoint, and I'm looking forward to it. So let's look over some of the matches that are on the show. We got Kota Ibushi against Will Ospreay. It's for the never openweight title. Brother, what do you think about that match? If you had to pick one out of those two,
Big Wavy Roy Johnson. He's not on the card. Shit, he should be.
Unfortunately, should be.
Book Roy Johnson. You know what? I'm gonna go. You said it's Ospreay, right?
Yeah,
Ibushi. Without really seeing anything, I'll say Ibushi. Although I would rather see Ospreay go over. But I'll say, and nothing against either. I love both of these guys. So don't pin that either. People that always like to overreact to stuff. But I'd rather see Ospreay win.
All right, I'm going to go with Ospreay as well.
People are going to say I don't like Asians now. Watch. Everybody, you hate the Japanese. That's why you want Ospreay to win. You're racist. No. Shut up.
Yeah, there's always an agenda behind it.
It's going to be a rough 2019 for you guys out there if you guys are a little sensitive. That's all I'm saying. I had an epiphany over this New Year's.
We got
who's back?
3-way tag team
again.
The first one here, we got Suzuki Gun, K-Maro Desperado against Roppongi 3K against Bushi and Shingo. I'm going to say this. I've seen this match 10 times already in 2018, so I'm kind of hoping this rivalry ends. It's the culmination on tomorrow. So that's for the junior heavyweight tag team titles. Here's the match I'm looking forward to. Ishii against Zack Sabre Jr. This is for the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship. This match for me can steal the show. I'm biased. Ishii's my favorite wrestler in New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I'll go with Ishii in this one.
I don't really know what's at stake here either way, and I don't want to try and play like it, so this is just more of a fan thing, not like an expert prediction. That's why I don't like giving predictions really anymore. But because of his arrogance, I like Zack Sabre Jr. I love that he's so hateable. I love that people, I love that, and he plays into it so well. So, I'm a fan of Heat, so I'm going with Zack Sabre.
Since we do the show on Throwback
I like
Thursday,
British wrestling, man.
Yeah, since we do the show on Thursday and it's Throwback Thursday, I'm gonna bring something back here that we used to do on the Pipe Bomb called "Go the Fuck Home" and "Stay the Fuck Home."
Hey, New Year's resolution. Even you know what, Daily, stop. Fucking just I'll stop you there. Make this real quick. Blah blah blah. Stop saying that name. We were never on any show. New Year's resolution. I don't even know what show you're talking about. I was never on any show like that. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's 2019. That name doesn't exist anymore. We're wiping it away. It's like we're not using it. It's done.
Anyways, Takamichi, go home and stay home. All right. Next one, Guerrillas of Destiny against Sanada and Evil from LIJ against the Young Bucks. This is a triple threat match for the heavyweight tag teams, the main IWGP tag team titles. That should be a good one. I'll probably go with GOD in there one since the Young Bucks are moving on their merry way. This could be the Young Bucks' final New Japan show in general.
They are? They are? I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't get the news?
I don't know. I didn't see anything about that anywhere.
Yeah,
all over the place.
Armageddon's here.
Jesus Christ,
the coming of WCW's here.
It's like this is the biggest mixture of fecal matter and ejaculate that I've ever fucking seen. Like, I don't know really what. I don't know. Like, people need to calm down for a second. I'm just as excited too. But let's keep it at a 3/4. Let's keep it at a chub. Let's not go full on yet. Let's just, yeah.
We got a rematch from last year's Wrestle Kingdom. By the way, yes, WWE's not the only company that does rematches on pay-per-views. Cody Rhodes against Juice Robinson for the IWGP US title. That should be a lot of fun. Kushida against Taiji Ishimori. That's for the junior heavyweight title. Okada against Jay White in a grudge match. That's the match I'm looking forward to the most on this show besides Ishii and Sabre. Chris Jericho against Tetsuya Naito. The match changed yesterday in their press conference. I watched it before I went to bed last night. It's going to be a no disqualification match, Jericho and Naito. By the way, why does Jericho's matches only have to be no DQ? Like, I know his character in New Japan is that he's batshit crazy and he's rocking the Axl Rose gear and the glasses and all the shit. So why does every match have to be no disqualification?
Because when you can wear a hat that fantastic and pull it off and nobody questions why you're wearing a hat that's that fantastic and you still pull it off, every match should be no DQ. It's just how it works.
Yeah. It's weird. It's just like, okay, I'm not tied to Vince anymore, so I'm just gonna go in New Japan and swear every 3 words like Cat Williams and just have no DQ matches.
You know how long he's probably waited to play this kind of character, though. You know what I mean? Like, I love this Jericho. I love the Alpha Jericho. But yeah, man, it's. I feel like it's unique in the fact that. Granted, yeah, he's taken it, to a different level, not where it hasn't been done before, but in today's world, we look at that as like being a little bit more extreme, you know what I mean, than other things. But I think he's smart enough to know where to toe the line to where it's still funny and effective, but not overused like a Cat Williams stand-up special. You know what I mean?
I'll say this though, Judas is a really good theme song to walk down to. So that is kind of cool to have your own song to walk that he actually made.
That Blackheart, what is it? Blackheart apparel shirt or whatever that Hot Topic carries, where the Judas shirt is pretty small.
Yeah, yes sir. The main event is. I don't know. There's some people like, from my view of just seeing what's going on Twitter and stuff. I know you're out of the loop, and thank God you are, because you got more important things to worry about. Yep. But from what I've seen, just scrolling down through my timeline, is some people are kind of indifferent, and there's also people that are excited for Kenny Omega against Hiroshi Tanahashi. So this is the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. This is for the IWGP title. Tanahashi and Omega. Tanahashi won the G1 obviously last year, so now this is an opportunity to win the title. The future's up in the air for Kenny Omega. I'm actually going with Tanahashi in this match because I feel like New Japan may want to do some things differently since they got. It's like they needed Kenny Omega as the brand name to go to the U.S., but now that they're doing shows in the U.S. I think they want to have their main Japanese guys be the draw of the company. I don't know where Kenny Omega is going. We're not getting to that topic right now, but
I love that. Well, no, let's because
I'm curious as to why people are indifferent towards this match, because I think these two guys are going to kill it tomorrow.
I do too, and I think the finish of this match is what intrigues me the most, is because we don't, typically this is where somebody might get the boot, and some, I mean, Jay White just kind of came in, but technically the Elite got the, all the Elite got the boot, but
yeah,
but my question would be, and I'm sure we're getting played by this, that's why I'm playing into the markishness of this, but and by the time you guys listen to this, you're probably going to have the answers anyway, so I don't even know why I'm wasting my breath on this, but but if you look at it at the signing for All Elite Wrestling and everything, Kenny is not a part of any of it. So does Kenny have a stop first before he goes there? You know what I mean? Josh, it's one of those where this is what makes it fun for me. This is why I stay off the internet. This is why I stay off, this is why I stick to what they present us. Like, I let the entertainers tell the story, not idiots on the internet and fucking dirt sheets that know that they're just basically toying with your feelings so that they can get a reaction out of you and get a fucking click. Like all these idiot dirt sheets that are posting, like, the clickbait headlines are like, Kayla Braxton says that she's going to kill her future baby or something. And it was like, what? Like, where the hell did you get that? Like, it was something like fucking crazy like that.
That was on WrestleZone. I saw that.
Oh, it's so bad.
As a former writer on that website, I'm kind of embarrassed.
It's so bad. Like, so I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm excited for this match actually, because the storyline they're going with Tanahashi being the old guard and Kenny Omega being like on the face of the company now, and I think the story they've been telling has been really good, and I'm excited for this match. By the way, I want to give a shout out to G-Rod, because besides myself, G-Rod has been a big mark for New Japan Pro Wrestling and promoted on these type of airways. And G-Rod is taught me some stuff about New Japan and how they structure their storylines and stuff. And I just want to give a shout out to G-Rod, because he hasn't done a lot of wrestling podcasts recently. He's been doing more movies with his own work. So I want to give a shout out to him, because he was a big help for us when we were doing some other projects that will be named right now in the past. So, and
by the way, if anybody out there wanted to know what yay means, that is late 90s slang in the West Coast for saying what up to G-Rod. So, and if you guys want to know what up means, that was early 90s slang for white suburban kids who thought they were black. Moving on.
So the 13th annual Wrestle Kingdom show tomorrow, New Japan World. You can watch on there, Fight TV. If you can't watch the show, if you don't have the money and the ads to watch the show, you can check out my article for it on ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. So you were mentioning a couple minutes ago about people needing to lower their chub, or whatever phrase you were going with it.
Yeah, chill the erection. I'm with that. Can we hashtag that? Chill the erection would be the greatest thing for wrestling Twitter. Like, chill your erection down, man. Like, get your boner down. Like, if it lasts longer than 4 hours, call a doctor. So that's why sometimes when WrestleMania is 5 hours, it's a good thing that there's an hour lull in there, guys.
Yeah. Piggyback to what I mentioned 10 minutes ago, I'm going to start putting that out once, like, Mandy Rose or like Becky Lynch comes out on SmackDown to chill your erection. Yeah, we got to get that trending, by the way.
Yeah, it's exactly what I want to be known for. Oh, yeah, you're that dude that got that shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're the asshole that dressed up like CM Punk for his marriage in Miami. Do you remember when Miami was still a thing before it got wiped away because of all the storms? That was fucking cool, like 20 years ago. Yeah. Oh, and you were the asshole that had something trending about an erection. What a dick. That's that's the story of my life right now. So, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, trend it up, bitches.
Oh, man, I love you, man. That's funny. All right. So, big news came out over the weekend in conjunction with the president of the Jacksonville Jaguars, this big
great mustache.
Yeah, a great mustache.
Our last name's Khan, right?
That's why we should proceed with caution with this whole deal, because just like any con, WrestleCon, anything con, there could be some bad things that comes out of this. I'm not
great
to ruin anybody's mood about this, because this is an awesome thing, but anything's up to the table when it comes to this whole thing. I don't know what's going to come out of this. I put a tweet out on my Twitter page at the Hoots Podcast. What do you want out of All Elite Wrestling? It's a simple question. We're not going to get to things that it is and it's not, because honestly, they don't have a full roster out. They don't even have a television deal right now. They just announced this thing. Hell, they barely just made the Twitter account the other day. So what we're going to get to is just the announcement in general, what impact it can or cannot have. But at the end of the day, I want to talk about just the strange angst and this strange scuttlebutt that came out of this announcement the other day when it came to Twitter. And I want to give shout out to one of our good listeners to the show, Nick from the UK. By the way, follow him on Twitter, Nick_BD. We had a great conversation about this, because look, I love Cody Rhodes, I love the Young Bucks, but it seems like anything they announce or anything that they dish out is Teflon. Like, you can't look at it in a different way. You can't criticize it. You can't even say anything derogatory about it. Now, for myself, I don't want to, because A, I enjoy their work. B, I appreciate their hustle. I love what they do with being an elite. I watch it as much as I can. I enjoy their work. So this is not the angle I'm going with. But for whatever reason, after they made this announcement, I think it was on Monday, everybody's like, okay, here we go. Here's the second coming of WCW. Vince is on his heels. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're finally getting what we want. And then it goes into, oh, if you're not supporting this, you're not a real wrestling fan. And when New Japan started getting their wave and momentum back last year, not last year, it was a little bit more in 2017, because the whole Kenny Omega Okada feud, right? And New Japan was getting that buzz, and they're like, okay, here's our number 2, here's the competition, here's the alternative. I watch all wrestling. I watch too much wrestling. Admittedly, I watch too much wrestling. I cover around 7 different wrestling brands throughout the week. I feel like, just me personally speaking, and I'm not trying to come with this being cocky or anything, but I feel like I'm more in tune with what's going on in all these companies as other people that are doing this. I know what's going on, and I know what's not going on. And I give every wrestling company a chance. More wrestling, the better it is for the business. More places for wrestlers to work, the better it is for everybody inside the business. I'm happy that they're doing this. I am. I'm glad that they're taking a chance on themselves, where they had a good deal and a good partnership with Ring of Honor and New Japan, and they were doing their whole thing, and they made their brand out of that, and they expanded to Hot Topic and all these other cool places. The Elite brand in itself is awesome. Nobody's taking that away from them. Can I get a roster first? Can I see if they get a television deal first? Can we see what they're going to be doing as far as what venues they want to run before we start going automatically? Okay, here we go. Here it is. This is WCW. They're having backing just like it. Whatever the guy's name. Khan. Yeah, the Khan guy. The Khan is the next Ted Turner. He's going to bring Vince down. Like, can we let them build this company up first and know what actually is the infrastructure of what the company is before we start getting to these silly topics? They just announced the fucking company 3 days ago. And it's not me saying, oh, AEW is going to be a flop. I'm happy that they're doing this. I am. But why is it that we're already rushing into, okay, this is the 2019 WCW, and Vince McMahon got to be scared. And if you don't like this, you're not a real wrestling fan, without even knowing who the fuck's going to be on the show, who's going to be the announcers, who's going to be sponsoring the company in the first place. Like, can we let this shit build first?
Well, listen, and I mean, here's the one thing. I want to know who, like, and I hate when people say that, like, if you're not, who doesn't want this to succeed? Let me ask that, because
that's a good question.
You know what I mean? Like, as a wrestling fan, is wrestling or sports entertainment fans, whatever preferred moniker you use, we want everybody to succeed. Everybody. To think that it's not that way is you're naive. Competition creates creativity. Creativity creates controversy. Controversy creates cash. And when you have a legitimate threat, then yes, absolutely, companies start taking more risks because they want their names to be out there. And I hear all of that, right? But here's some things I just want to take a step back and like think about something. Number one, I remember all the fuss about a little thing called Global Force Wrestling too back in the day. About 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, I guess, right? Yeah. I remember how that was going to be this big next thing, and it was going to be, oh my God, it's taken over this, and it's going to be this, and there was going to be these things, and I think they basically ended up selling T-shirts, right? I don't, and that's nothing, no disrespect to anybody involved with it. I don't understand if something that, what did they buy TNA out? Did they not? Did they merge? Did they this? Did they that? It just looked like Jeff Jarrett opened up a side enterprise just as an LLC, just to intentionally get bought out and make a little side cash. That's all it was. I see entrepreneurs do it all the time. It's all that it was. Now, I do think it's much different here because I don't think Cody and the Bucks and Hangman are like, I don't believe that that's what their intent is. I do believe that they're there to create some sort of alternative promotion. I do like that idea. Now, I still want to see more. Now, this doesn't mean I'm not excited about it. I'm absolutely excited about it. And Josh, this is where I will actually kind of play, not whatever. I'll play more of the fan side of this and say, listen, it's hard. You're not like any of you marks out there that want to say that like, oh, well, they're just shills, blah, blah, blah. When you're going to wave a potential roster in front of me that consists of, hypothetically speaking, Chris Jericho, CM Punk, and Marty Scurll.
And Goldberg now.
No, I'm not. Fuck Goldberg. I mean, listen.
No, that's the new guy that they're talking about.
Yeah, but that's not who I'm talking about. Screw Goldberg. I can't screw it. No, listen, I understand. Goldberg's an awesome draw. But what I'm saying, though, is like me personally as a wrestling fan, you're taking two guys that are like on my Mount Rushmore and hypothetically saying they might be in this organization. And arguably my favorite guy in all of wrestling right now, Marty Scurll, would be on the same roster. It's hard for me not to get excited about it, right? But this is like foreplay at the massage parlor. Where do you really think it's going to go? Because you know that there's the happy ending, short and sweet, and is it even really worth it in the end until you really see the relationship play out? I want to see the relationship play out before I make assumptions. So, and never mind what I said about a Chinese parlor. I ain't never been to one. And if I have, ain't none of your business. So, as Josh just covers his head, but you guys can't see that. But no, I guess what I'm saying here, man, is like I am absolutely excited for what could be on the horizon and for what could be in the roster that could be, just some of the names that I think I just watched this thing that were like, hypothetical names that could be on there. And that's all that it is hypotheticals right now. Once we see more, yes, then we'll know more. But at the same time, I also don't want it to be something to where we want to knock Vince off the perch and take over. Competition is the greatest form of business. When we go back and really look at history, Josh, what was Vince's one? I mean, we could always say, oh, that Vince made this mistake, that mistake, and all you marks at home that have never ran a business in your life will say, oh, well, it was because they didn't push this person or that person. Ultimately, Vince's worst business mistake was killing his competition. When you kill your competition and you're the only one left out there, you're the only dog on the porch, you're an easy scapegoat. Right?
Right. Yeah.
You're an easy target for everything that happens in the sport. So you have to be more responsible with what you do. I'm not saying the Bucks and Cody and I'm not saying that they're not going to be responsible. Also, please take that into consideration. But what I'm saying here is that you're comparing apples and oranges, and we need to relax. Everybody needs to relax. You need to slow it down. There's a show called The Fix that's on Netflix right now. It's hosted by comedian Jimmy Carr. He's hysterical. D.L. Hughley's on there. I forget the other comedian's name that's on there, but they always have like Nikki Glazer's on it, Ron Funches on it. A bunch of people always go on it. But we've been watching some episodes, and it just reminds me of this. It's like, they were talking about social media, like what's the problems with social media, and like the fix for the one was just slow it down. We need to and that's the case with this, man. Like, slow your roll with this real quick, as I keep throwing out old school terms because that's what I'm going to do in 2019. But we're already crowning a team that didn't put a team on the field yet, an organization. And I'm not saying that this isn't going to be an excellent product. And I'm not saying I'm not super excited for it. But can we at least get some names? Can we at least get some rosters? Can we at least get some, let's see what's going on with it first. I love the teasing. I love that being the elite's going to keep going. I love everything else. I love that they're going to still wrestle, and they're still going to get to do what they want to do and still try to put, I guess, a little bit more power back in the wrestlers' hands. So I'm glad that this is happening. But let's not already say this is like all the people that said Jamarcus Russell was going to take the Raiders to the Super Bowl. Oh, really? Tell me about that again. Like $10 million per touchdown pass by that asshole. Okay.
I agree with you, bro. And look, like I was mentioning a couple minutes ago, I am excited that they're doing this in general. I just want to see this play out. We don't even know what the identity of AEW is, even throughout the first week. All we know is your favorite stars from being the elite. That's it.
Well, just
because you know the narrative of being elite doesn't mean you know what their actual intention is and what the show they want to produce. You don't even know the name of the show that they're even going to have. When's it going to be on? What's the agenda they're wanting to push here? And this is my tip for every other time we see this new thing, like you're mentioning with Global Force Wrestling. I'm going to put stock into the companies and the products that focus on their own brand. Mm-hmm. You know why I love Lucha Underground? Because they worry about what they do. That's my favorite non-WWE based promotion. They don't have money. They don't have this. They got kicked off of Netflix a couple months ago. They don't even know if they're going to have a season 5. But I appreciate the hard work and hustle they put into that product and the wrestlers that bust their ass and took a risk while not being promoted in TNA or WWE. They came into Lucha Underground. They made a name for themselves, and they focus on their own product. Too many times in Ring of Honor, we're anti this, we're anti that, and we lost focus on what Ring of Honor is. And Ring of Honor, it's now more in a stable condition, and I'm happy that they're selling out arenas now. And they're going into bigger venues. I'm happy that Ring of Honor switched their focus. TNA, we can spend an entire show talking about the ups and downs of that company. We don't have enough time for that. But my point is, I'm gonna put my own stock into a company that just focuses on what they do. Don't tell me what you are and what you're not. Just show me. Just focus on your own content. I'm not going to tell you that AEW is going to be better than this or that because I don't know what AEW is. I don't. All I know is I know what the name of the company is, but do I know what the emphasis behind it is? No.
And here's the thing, man. I can't. Please don't take away any of the excitement that I have, or say that I'm downplaying it, or anybody listening, don't, because I'm fired up. I couldn't be happier for the Jackson brothers, for Cody, especially I feel like Matt Jackson too. I feel like Matt is when they start opening up, he writes a lot of the skits for being elite and stuff like that. And you can tell he just loves that creative side of things. So absolutely But with any business, you want to give it at least 5 years. It says it takes 10 years to become an overnight success, right? 5 years for a business like this, is a good barometer. And I want to tie this in, and this is where I said at the beginning of the show, you guys better not be snowflakes. I'm sorry, Pat, you got to get used as an example this week. But Pat sent us a question saying, give us a prediction on what the wrestling landscape is going to look like now with AEW. And here's what I have to say, good sir. If anybody in this world tries to give a prediction on what any landscape looks like, we are all morons and we are dumber for it, because we will never truly know what their effect on the wrestling landscape for minimum 5 years. A 1 or 2 year jolt is nothing more than a flash in the pan. It really takes 5 years of stability, then that you're on to something. Truly, you know that you have to be in that 5 to 10 year mark to be even taken seriously as something that was something more than just a fad. Okay. And again, this is any business. This is any kind of entertainment. This is any kind of, like, look, fucking new metal and grunge went out real quick too. You know what I mean? Like, Limp Bizkit came and gone real fucking quick, and there's a reason why it did. I also think that we have to start to understand as human beings, it's almost naive to think that we are even going to understand our own world in 5 years. Look back 5 years ago in 2014. It really was right. 2013 was the last time life felt somewhat normal, because that was right before everything blew up virally. Everything went to a computer. Everybody's online avatar is now more of their person than their actual person in human life. You know what I mean? I just watched an episode of Black Mirror that kind of dictated this. It was like the guy basically created a virtual reality game. Everyone he worked with, he trapped and was making them do things, and it was like a Star Trek kind of deal thing. It was a good episode. Look it up anyway. But that's where I feel like people are more comfortable as their avatars, as their eggs, as their Twitter handles, as their whatever, as they are in public, talking to a human eye to eye. And that's frightening. You know, so to think 5 years ago from then till now, the United States of America is so we've allowed Nazis to march on our streets, and we have apologists for it. Okay, let's just think about that. If I would have told you 5 years ago, hey man, you're not going to believe this, but 5 years from now, there's going to be Nazis in America, and people are going to be okay with it, you would laugh me out of the country. Now we have people defending them. So, and I think it's because they wear polo shirts too. I think it's all about the polo shirt and the khaki pants. It's like the white boy get out of jail card.
It's like Kirk Cousins.
So yeah, it's like every generic white quarterback in the NFL. But anyway, but to think that we're even going to understand what this country or this world is going to be like in 2023 or 2024 or 2025, get real. There's no way to even attempt to predict this. And I don't mean I think the only reason why I'm going in hard, Pat, no, it's out of love, baby, is because I think that we do that too often. Josh, I want to get your opinion when I'm done with this little rant here, but we always want to we go straight to predictions. Let's predict this because it's the easiest form of debate, right? The easiest form of conversation now has become debate. Guys, this is idiocracy. This is literally idiocracy. I'm baiting. I mean, it wasn't like, hey, do you think what's the wrestling landscape? Maybe the question should have been, do you think it should be a televised program or an online only subscription type deal? Should they run it where it is their pay-per-views are in larger arenas or smaller ECW type venues when they were going to community colleges and the like? Those are better questions I think right now than what will the wrestling landscape be? I don't know what the landscape of my own I might be wearing diapers 5 years from now. You know what I mean? The landscape of my own bottom might be very, very, very grotesque in 5 years. I turned 40 this year. So I just think it's crazy to try for everyone that's on this, that now it's, and listen, I'm not trying to, I want them to go in with as much tenacity as they can, because I would love to see that side company that is doing well, because again, when wrestling is good, it's good for all of us that are wrestling fans. The debate is out there. We always look for the debate. We go for the debate because we thrive for times when things are good and the debate makes more sense, right? Because then you can compare two great things versus what's good versus what's bad, And that's ultimately what the goal is. So no, I don't want anyone to get torn down in this. We want all companies to get built up. We want everybody to succeed, because then everybody makes more money. And you know what? That actually creates more jobs and more opportunities for people like you and I and everybody that's listening out there that thinks that they can be a wrestler or an announcer or a stagehand or whatever or a writer or whatever it is that you think that you can be. The more companies that are successful, the more opportunities there are for you. So quit hating on people. Start to pull people up and say, yes, I want All Elite Wrestling to succeed just as much as I want WWE and New Japan and Lucha and all these companies to succeed, because the more success we have, the more money everybody makes, and the more the industry is better. That being said, you still can't compare All Elite Wrestling to WWE, a corporately traded entity. It is a corporate brand. It's not a wrestling company. It's entertainment. Vince says it ad nauseum now. Entertainment, God damn it. And it's not even there's a reason why they're doing that, guys. So the landscape is going to be this. If it gets to a point where All Elite Wrestling starts to hurt WWE financially, WWE will move some money around and figure out a way that if you think you hate it now, it'll go super kidsy all over again, because the stocks ain't going to drop. They're too large to fail now. They're too big to fail. And they're going to go for brand recognition and brand loyalty and what they can do from a branding standpoint. But, and it's not that they're not listening to their fans either. But listen, they're traded on Wall Street at $70 almost $80 a share. They're an entertainment company that, unfortunately, people don't like hearing this. It's their cogs. Now a company like All Elite Wrestling, you're not as much of a cog. I will agree with that. But
the bubble is not signing checks at the end of the day.
No, hell no.
Yeah. And let me say this really quick, and this is something not only wrestling related, but in general. I think we should elevate each other this year. I think that should be a goal for everybody this year in your life, your friends, your colleagues that you work with. Yes, I'm not naive. This is real life. We're all going to deal with assholes. We're all going to deal with just shitty people along the way. Like I mentioned before, you control the energy that you put into your life. You don't have to let that consume you. But also, in general, let's elevate each other. How many times do we have to deal with people still giving you the dirty look? Oh, you still watch that fake stuff? Oh, why is this still on television? Oh, why is this selling it out? Why are they selling out football stadiums? Oh, things must be sold for these arenas because they got to put WWE on. We already deal with enough detraction of what professional wrestling is. Let's not bring down something that we actually love. I never understood the standpoint in I don't know what goal you were trying to accomplish along that way. And just going back to your question, the landscape is not affected whatsoever. The landscape is what it is right now. AEW is awesome. I'm happy that they're doing this. I'm happy for the Bucks and Cody Rhodes that they're betting on themselves. I'll always root for people that bet on themselves. I took a risk leaving the radio station and leaving wrestling. This is the choice I made to do this for a living and doing it on my own accord. And I don't regret that one bit. I don't regret that. I appreciate guys like Ant who took a chance on himself to build his own brand after leaving NAI, and he's doing his own thing and he's kicking ass. I'm happy for that. I always root and back people that bet on themselves and want to do things for their own product. That's not my issue at AEW. I'm happy they're doing this, and I can't wait to see what new news comes out of this. But in general, have your opinions about WWE, but you're still watching it. You're not doing yourself a favor when you want to talk about what's wrong with WWE, yet you still watch it. And when you say you don't watch it, yet you respond to a segment that's going on in the show. But are you watching or are you not watching? So at the end of the day, it's two different things. Like we mentioned earlier, what do you want? Because it's just like the NXT love that comes every takeover weekend. Oh, this is the competition and this and that. No, NXT is part of WWE. Wrestling is not sports. It's not. I can look at a roster for Impact Wrestling, and maybe it may not be my cup of tea, but there could be the biggest Impact fan in the world, and I wouldn't begrudge that person for that. Just because I don't have a preference for a certain wrestling company does not make me a bad wrestling fan. Just because I don't know what the roster is for AEW doesn't mean I'm going to be on here and saying, oh, AEW is going to be a flop. This is not sports. Like you're saying, oh, we need to compare this. We need to break this down. Here's the thing. How are you going to switch? How are you going to change it or make it better? The whole bait and switch thing. This is not sports. It's not a sport. It's professional wrestling right now is not a sport.
Right. And I know that rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but in the end, it's theater. They're telling a story, you know?
Yeah, we could make agendas to the cows come home, but at the end of the day, all of this stuff is subjective. I like certain products besides WWE, but I still enjoy WWE. I just like watching professional wrestling at the end of the day. I love watching WWE sports entertainment. This is my escape. I love covering it each week. I love talking about it. That's why we're doing this, right? That's why we're wrestling fans. That's why we spend money to go to these shows. I'm a wrestling fan at the end of the day. So all this other stuff behind the scenes and who should be scared about competition, that stuff really doesn't matter to me at the end of the day. It's not a sport. It's not a sport. So what AEW does is good for wrestling in general. It should be about, the competition and who's number two. Who really cares at the end of the day? Let's let this thing play out, and I'm excited to see what other news comes out of this company. But before we head out for this week's show, we do have some other things we want to get to. Really quick, any things that stood out for you for Raw or SmackDown as we're heading towards the Royal Rumble?
Yes, I will admit, I am a little upset that I didn't know it was a SmackDown taping, and I thought it was a live event because my daughter popped for it. I mean, listen, we all did, but the Becky Lynch John Cena moment was great. That's just not we can't avoid that. That was fantastic. I think the shows have been good, man, and I think that they're really. You have 2 weeks of tape shows that typically, not much happens, and you got a title change on one. You have a great Becky Lynch segment, with Cena and the other. You're having marquee moments on these shows that really are going to advance storylines later on. So I think they've been doing fine over the holidays as far as that goes. I'm really looking forward to like Monday night and Tuesday night because usually when they have their first live shows of the year after the new year, and that's when they really, really officially kick it into overdrive as far as going into WrestleMania. So I can't imagine that next week's shows aren't going to be fantastic. So I figure there's no more NFL around either. That's not something they have to contend with. No holidays. Now it's back to normalcy. So I mean that's kind of what I'm looking more forward to. There were little moments here and there on both shows that I thought were great. I loved it. The Riot Squad. I love the announcement of the Women's Tag Championship. I love that they're letting Ruby go with the short hair again. It's just I don't know. It just seems more Ruby Riot with the short hair than with the extensions. But
right.
Listen, Becky Lynch is killing it on social media right now, and everyone, let's face it, guys. Her and Graves are probably sitting right next to each other typing this stuff out. You know what I mean? But just that. Oh man, that stuff owning Corey Gray. It's. I've been having a good time just kind of watching from afar, just the social media feuds that they've been doing. When I can catch them, and they're usually the Instagram ones is the ones that I catch. It's the only thing I use. See, and that's where the DM joke nobody really understands. Because I really only use Instagram, and I barely use that. And you can't DM someone unless you're their friend. So that's where you can't really even slide into DMs, y'all. You played yourself. No, but listen. As far as the wrestling goes, I didn't pick the product apart like I'm sure half the internet or most of the internet did. Past couple weeks, I knew what they were doing. We kind of talked about it, Josh. You know what I mean? People were like, "Oh, nothing's changed." They said they were going to change it, and we talked about it on our last show too. The 4 main women that they focused on all year long, storyline wise, kind of had a segment together on SmackDown. So it's pretty obvious when you kind of take your feelings out of it and take a step back and look at what they're doing, what they're trying to do, and where they're going. And I understand feelings get in the way sometimes, but patience, let them tell the story, and even and like my dog says, Piper just said, she's a feisty one. She said, "Shut up."
She shares those sentiments.
Yep.
I have a couple things that stood out to me. The different clashing things with Triple H and Seth Rollins, I thought that was pretty cool on Raw on Monday. I like that. The AJ Styles Vince McMahon thing is very interesting. I want to see where that's going.
I wanted to talk to you about that because whenever I first saw that, I was like, okay, I feel like they're ripping somebody here, but I need to get a second and third opinion. So we watched it as a family. We watched it, me, Sam, and AJ watched it together. And they both were like, wait a minute. Isn't that seemed oddly familiar? The Bucks keep going to Flip Gordon talking about grabbing the brass rings. Then after he'd super kick me, oh yeah, more of that, yeah. And they're like, you're right, Vince. He was like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. It's like, okay, so where are they going with this AJ Styles thing, you know?
Yeah. I feel like they're bringing the element of, Vince may not look at AJ as the main event guy or whatever. So the Mr. McMahon character is going to bring that edge out of him. By the way, I do miss seeing Edge on television
so much.
As a wrestler, he's the man. But going back to AJ Styles, like I think he wants to bring out the ruthless aggression out of AJ Styles to make him to be that main guy. And I think this is him testing him because I think AJ is going to Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're going to need a big star for Monday Night Raw because they're going to start switching the direction more towards SmackDown as we lead up to Fox. I think that's where you're going to see your Seth Rollinses, your Roman Reigns if he does come back from this horrible illness, like the Ronda Rouseys. Those type of people, they're going to be on Fox because that's going to be mainstream and they want to get their mainstream stars on that type of show. So Raw on USA, when that whole switch happens in the fall this year, I think they're going to have a guy like an AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan and them on Raw. So I think that's the angle they're going with this. I'm curious for that, but also I think they're doing things where making more of the matches on Raw have meaning towards it. And this whole thing where you're not getting automatic title rematches and this and that, I think this is a nice little switch for how they're formatting Raw now. I do love Corey Graves, though. He'll make any excuse in the world for Baron Corbin, and it's awesome.
It's great.
I get a good kick out of that.
People don't appreciate the great Corey Graves. Reverend Graves is the man. But you know what, man? I also like the fact that with this whole reset on, like, nobody gets a rematch, this, that, and the other thing. It's almost like Thanos resetting the universe. So now everyone can quit complaining about all the other people that have never gotten rematches or any of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You reset the universe, bam, there's your snap. There's your fucking Thanos fucking snap. But where I like it is that I'm still not sold that everybody on the McMahon side of things is on the same page. And I'm not sold that maybe someone isn't going to end up going into business for themselves. And that's where I think that where I'm finding intrigue in this, because you can never trust the McMahon, let alone 4 United McMahons. It never pans out. It's like a wrestling wedding. It just never works.
And just to make sure everybody's not worried or concerned, you're not having another McMahon by every quarter main event like WrestleMania 2000. This is not where it's going.
No.
But I will say this. Don't be surprised if you see Triple H and Shane McMahon going against each other at WrestleMania this year. If Batista is not going to be part of WrestleMania this year, I think they're actually going to do Triple H versus Shane. This is the match they've been wanting to do for a while at a WrestleMania. It's in New York. It's in the McMahon family territory. I think they can pull it off, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. Because I actually had it penned off that it would actually be Vince and Shane against Stephanie, and not in a match, obviously, guys, fucking idiots. Right. But I thought it would be like it would be like Shane and Vince with one mindset against Triple H and Stephanie with another mindset.
They're gonna have a debate.
Yeah. They're going to quabble over the Vincent J. McMahon whatever award they gave out that one year for Shane. Whenever Shane came back,
the Legacy Award.
Yeah, whatever award they gave to Stephanie just for the Shane setup. That basically was what that was.
What's ironic about that? That Raw was in Detroit, and Raw was in Detroit this week, and that's where Shane made his return.
You know what? You got to give it WWE because love them or hate them, they really try to make Detroit and Pittsburgh like 2 cesspool dumps of smog and dirt look like we're like palaces. Like, on South Park when they turn the one district and it's real nice and they're like, come down to what was it, Soho on? No, Soho. I mean, that's a real place, but whatever. It was whatever district. It's like, oh, look how nice this is. It's like, no, this is Pittsburgh, man. There's mills everywhere. No, Pittsburgh's great. Like Graves said the other night, I don't claim all these people here. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of dumps, Monday Night Raw this week will be in Orlando, Florida. Ugh. Yeah. So we got John Cena, or as I like to say, midlife crisis, back on our television screen. Man, that hair is brutal. Brutal. But it's nice to see him on television. That segment with him and Becky was really good. I like the stuff that they're doing with Mandy Rose and Naomi. I think that's a nice little fun angle on the side since they're not fighting for the title.
Oh, it's great. Naomi threw her shoe. That's why you wear heels. You wear heels to toss them. It's why women wear them. Men don't know that. Secretly, women don't want to wear them heels. They're there in case they need to get tossed. They're weapons. Understand that, man. I listen to the woman. I know that. I'm starting to get it now.
Carmella is trying to get back in the title picture, so we'll see where that goes. And we got some options for the Royal Rumble. So we know that AJ Styles will be fighting Daniel Bryan at the Rumble. We got Braun Strowman against Brock Lesnar. We'll figure out the other title matches as these shows go by. But we got a couple of participants already in the Royal Rumble match. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Royal Rumble is one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. It's definitely in my top 3. I love the Rumble. The fact that they're doing it in a baseball stadium is even cooler, so I'm excited for that. And we'll see what happens as the weeks go by. But before we head out for this week's episode, we got to talk about Gotham. The final season starts tonight on Fox. Brother, take it away.
Gotham. Gotham is let's talk about it. 12 episodes. I'll admit this is going to be, for me, I don't want to say like the last, like when Dexter went off the air, there was a gap of time where I didn't have like a TV show that I watched. It was like, I'm not a big TV person like everybody probably assumes, because I like to talk to the outside media type of stuff on here versus just like pop culture stuff versus just the wrestling side. But I typically only really have like one show that I'm really into, and most of the other stuff it's like comedy, but
right,
Gotham is really is one that I'm glad I stuck with, because I started to fall out of it a little bit in the first season, but Sam thankfully was like, no, just stick with it. I still think, everyone's always bitching about, Nicholson versus Ledger. I still think Cam Monahan is the best Joker, that they've had. And it's funny, man, because for all the times that we complain as wrestling fans, and I'm talking about anybody in the wrestling echo chamber or on the wrestling bubble or in the podcasting or on fucking Twitter or all the anytime, any of the markishness shit that we do. Yeah. If there's people that could realistically complain right now, I mean, as a Joker foul, I mean, I could complain that they can't call him Joker. I could sit here and complain like that, that they're doing a Joker origin movie that I'm really still not sold on. But the fact is, Cam Monahan's Joker is actually, I think, the best live action one. I mean, next to Hamill, you can't count Hamill because he's cartoon, but just his voice. I think he's been the best. I think he's had the most range. I think he's played a couple different incarnations. I don't know, but it's really setting up to be a grim and gritty final 12 episodes that I think that any fan of the Batman series, if you haven't watched anything up until this point, watch the last 3 episodes of season 4 going into the season 5 here. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with these last 12 episodes.
I saw the last couple episodes for the last season, and we were talking about it on the show as the season was coming to an end, and I got to watch some of the previous seasons along the way, and I'm mostly caught up with Gotham, and I'm excited to watch this. I may not be able to watch it live because I'm pretty busy on Thursday nights, but just in general, I'm excited for the season and where it goes. I love the teaser trailer they dished out a couple weeks ago. That looks badass. And, I actually think this Joker is the best one out of the ones I've seen recently. We talked about that topic a couple weeks ago. I think this brother's been killing it in this role. Jerome is awesome. The actor behind this character is doing Cameron Monaghan. There you go. That's his name. I have a lot of stuff flux through my head right now, so I got his name out. So yeah, Cameron's been doing a phenomenal job on this show, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited for this.
He really understands the character, and it's not just him. Like, I know I'm the Joker fan, so I'm always going to be fawning over Joker stuff first. But Carmen Bicanova or some, I don't know how you say her, and I think her name might even be Cameron or something. I don't know. But chick that plays Selena Kyle, Catwoman, she's fantastic. And even like the dude David Mazouz that is playing Bruce Wayne, who's really grown in his role. The guy that plays Riddler, Corey Michael Smith, I think is the best, hands down, since the old Frank Gorshin days. Is hands down the best Riddler, even in through some of the animated movies and stuff like that. I've always loved Riddler and never liked how they've done Riddler until Gotham. So, and I mean, I could keep going on and on and on. That like a lot of people, and I understand because there's a million shows out there, there's a million streaming services, there's a million, you know what I mean? And it gets to be too much, and especially when, most grown men my age are watching sports, and then they call me a nerd. You're watching grown men run around in tights and real short clothing all day. But I'm the nerd. I mean, and meanwhile, we all watch wrestling, and it's men wrestling around in their underwear. So listen, none of us can really throw stones at any of us.
Comes full circle.
It all comes full circle, baby. It all comes full circle. It's all love here. But that's why, listen, when my nerdism is going to absolutely kick in with Gotham. And but where I kind of started with this, just to finish it up, I'm afraid, man, that this is going to be like my last show for a while, because like I still have my comedy shows and like I said, like little, but that's more like personalities versus them telling a story. And wrestling's always, obviously going to be there, but I'm not that TV person who has like 10 shows that they're into, like my wife. Like she's going to hate me for that one, but she always has like every it's like 50 million shows. It's overloaded. It's too much. But I can only get like. It could be a good thing though.
It could be a good thing though, because the less you consume, the better it is for your brain.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. It's 168 hours in a week. I don't have the time to I stopped watching The Walking Dead even, you know what I mean? Like we haven't watched that in a couple of years now. So it's just, I'll admit it's a little bittersweet for me that the end is the beginning is the end, or actually the beginning is the end is the beginning. And if anybody doesn't know what that's also from, it's a Smashing Pumpkins song. It was used in a Batman movie during the credit scenes, and it is very fitting to this last season, because we all know that it starts tonight, but it is the last 12 episodes that really, since this is a prequel to The Dark Knight, not The Dark Knight the movie, but Batman, the Batman character, it really is only the beginning when the season wraps up. So there you go. Since I have to tell you guys all the goddamn jokes and lines all the time, wrestling fans, don't compute. It must be very easy to digest. They cannot think. Sorry. Now, listen, I would like to think that the people that listen to us, our audience and the great people that listen to us, I would think they're much further past that. They're not the singular closed-minded like some other audiences out there. So we appreciate you guys. That's why we consider you more friends than listeners. You know what I mean? That's why we can say slide into the DMs, because it's more like a friendship than it is like,
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys so much for checking out our episode here in the podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the Hoots Podcast on YouTube right now. Like the video, comment your thoughts on the show. What are you looking forward to from All Elite Wrestling? We haven't got information as far as what they're dropping their show weekly or who's on their roster or anything like that. But are you excited for All Elite Wrestling? What are you looking forward to the most when it comes to this brand new company that's out in the landscape of professional wrestling? Enjoy Wrestle Kingdom for those who are watching it tomorrow. Make sure to check out all my play-by-play articles at ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. We're here to have fun in 2019. We're going to kick ass along the way. We're going to dish out the best show, and we already do each week. And we're here for you guys to have a lot of fun and do the show every single week. So thank you guys for the support. We truly appreciate it. You can follow the Clown Prince at Twitter and Instagram at AdamDaily13.
No, don't even bother. No, screw Twitter. No. I want to be vacant off Twitter. Yeah, Instagram, if you want to add me on there, cool. Fuck Twitter. Fuck Twitter. Yeah, like I'm done with it all. Like face, all that. Like I know I have profiles out there. I seriously can't stress enough. I do not use them. The only thing I do, once a week I'll retweet Roy Johnson's stuff to make sure he gets recognized. Make sure you book Roy Johnson and our podcast, and to make sure the good brother here, Josh, gets his play. Make sure you're following the Hoots Podcast and follow Josh's stuff. Other than that, fuck Twitter. You people shouldn't care what I have to say, and I don't care what. No, I really do. That's why you got slide in the DMs, baby. We have a conversation, not in a public forum. Be humans. I'm being human again in 2019, y'all. Quit being an avatar. That's the New Year's resolution. Everybody quit being an avatar.
No more eggshells.
Quit being an avatar, man. Your turn, and the artificial intelligence is winning. So,
right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for checking out the show. Hope you enjoyed it. We want to send our condolences to the family of Mean Gene Okerlund. Very unfortunate to see that happened the other day. Mean Gene is an icon in the professional wrestling business, especially for the announcing work he did not only in WWE but AWA and WCW and the Hotline. So I'm sure I'm going to throw some throwback clips for Mean Gene as we pay homage to him this weekend. Unfortunately, he passed away this week at the age of 76. Very sad, but Mean Gene will always be in our hearts as wrestling fans.
Yeah, I was going to tell a really bad joke, but you know what? I know everyone's super sensitive and whatever, so this is the one time I'm going to hold back. But, and damn it, I hate that, you know, as somebody that looks at themselves as the worst hat comedian in the world, you know that it's bad when you have to hold something back just because one person will blow it up and make a big deal about it. But, yeah, listen, it's a shame with Mean Gene. Listen, if I live to be 76, I always look silver lining. If I live to be 76, I'm going to look at it as a miracle. You know what I mean? So the man lived a good life, lived a very rewarding life. You know, it entertained us all, entertained the world. So, you know, got to, I mean, you know, in a lot of times I think, you know, sometimes we grieve the loss, but we got to look at the success too. I mean, he got to do, he got to live life, man. So good on Mean Gene and him and Heenan can now play golf somewhere in the afterlife. Whatever you guys believe in. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I don't know what people believe in anymore. I have my own thing. So it's, you know, dailyism is a great thing.
And I loved his no filter attitude on the Legends house that they did a couple years ago.
I didn't want to bring it up. Yeah, I didn't want to say on his tombstone it should say biggest prick on Legends house. But, you know, and not in a good way in parentheses, because being the biggest prick could be taken as a compliment in a different way.
Yeah. All right,
that's probably Goldberg, though.
On that note, thank you guys so much for checking out episode 137 of the Hoots Podcast. We'll be back here next week. Peace.